considers free speech online.
Protecting conservative viewpoints on social media.
Nikki Haley fights on.
We're headed to Michigan tomorrow.
Averting a government shutdown. Negotiators appear to be no closer to ending their impasse. Good morning, I'm Peter King with the CBS World News Roundup. The Supreme Court is scheduled to hear a pair of cases involving social media companies and the content they should and shouldn't be allowed to remove from their platforms. CBS News correspondent Jan Crawford says the challenge comes from conservative groups worried about censorship.
They say these social media companies should be regulated like businesses and not be allowed to remove users' posts based on their viewpoint or to ban political candidates. And then on the other side, Facebook and YouTube, and they're saying, like, wait a minute, these laws infringe on our editorial content. We should be treated like news outlets, and we should be able to have First Amendment protection and editorial control over our content. So if the court rules in favor of these states, critics are saying that that could make social media even more of a free-for-all, going well beyond political speech.
With South Carolina in the rearview mirror, it's on to Michigan for GOP presidential candidates Donald Trump and Nikki Haley, who has just lost a major campaign donor. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is in Detroit.
Former President Donald Trump may have won big in South Carolina, but the state's former governor, Nikki Haley, says she isn't going anywhere.
You can't have a candidate who's going to win a primary who can't win a general.
Despite losing her home state, she's now on a 10-day nationwide tour with more than 20 campaign rallies and fundraisers. Haley's campaign says she raised another $1 million in the hours after the South Carolina finish. Haley says she represents a concern to Republicans that Trump can't win over.
He's not going to get the 40%. If he is not willing to change and do something that acknowledges the 40%.
But a national conservative group that helped campaign early for Haley plans to stop spending on her because we don't believe any outside group can make a material difference to widen her path to victory.
For the fourth time in 6 months, the president and Congress are in a battle to keep the government running. The CBS's Scott McFarland.
The meeting at the White House is scheduled after what appears to be a weekend breakdown in negotiations to avert a partial government shutdown on Friday, then a broader shutdown, including to the Pentagon, on March 8th. And amid this ongoing standoff over Ukrainian aid, over how to fund it and how much money to offer. As over the weekend, Ukraine's president warned the situation will grow more dire without the help.
And we have more on that from CBS's Charlie Daggett in Kyiv.
President Zelensky said Ukrainians are dying by the day because of a lack of Western support, revealing for the first time the figure of 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers killed since the invasion began, though even U.S. analysts put the number at more than twice that. Whether Ukraine will lose depends on you, on our partners, on the Western world. He said, if we will be strong with weapons, we will not lose, we will win. And while Congress wrestles over that $60 billion Ukraine funding package, Russian forces have gone on the attack at several points along the front line after capturing the city of Avdiivka. Zelensky said Congress knows that Ukraine needs that aid package within a month to spare more lives, civilians and soldiers alike.
An active duty member of the Air Force has died a day after setting himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in Washington. He was protesting what he called Israel's genocide in Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says ceasefire negotiations won't stop Israel from beating Hamas. More from correspondent Holly Williams.
In the ruins of Gaza City, some have reached breaking point. I wish my children were dead so they couldn't ask me for bread. I cannot feed my own children, shouts this man. But on Face the Nation yesterday, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he's determined to launch an offensive in Rafah in southern Gaza, where around 1.5 million Palestinians are now sheltering.
We can't leave a quarter of Hamas battalions in Rafah and say, well, that's fine. Total victory is our goal, and total victory is within reach. Not months away, weeks away, once we begin the operation.
But the price of Israel's total victory is being paid not just by Hamas, but by Palestinian civilians.
It's 5 past the hour.
That's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace.